It should be useful, accomplishing some business objectives faster and more efficient than the previously used methods or tool did. It must also be easy to learn for the people want to do, not learn to do. So the interface itself should serve as both connector as well as separator. Connector in that it lies the user to the power of the computer, and the separator in that it minimizes the possibility of the participants damaging one another. So we will begin with the first set of published principle, those for the Xerox star. Okay, so the principle for the Xerox star. So the illusion of manipulatable objects, displayed objects that are selectable and manipulable must be created. A design a design challenge is to invent a set of displayable objects that are represented meaningfully and appropriately for the intended applications. It must be clear that these objects can be selected. And the second one is visual order and the viewer's focus. So effective visual contrast between the various components of the screen is used to achieve this goal. Animation is also used to draw attention, as is sound. Feedback must also be provided to the user. And the third part is reveal structure. The distance between the one's intention and the effect must be minimized. So the relationship between the intention and the effect must be tightened and made as apparent as possible to the user. Next is consistency, which will aid to lead learning, which is provided in such areas as element location, grammar, font shapes, styles, sizes, selection indicators, and contrast and emphasis techniques. Next is appropriate effect or emotional impact. So the interface must provide the appropriate emotional effect for the product and its market. Is it a corporate, professional, and secure a business system? Should it reflect the fantasy, wizardry, and the bad puns of the computer games? Next, a match with the medium. So the interface must also reflect the capabilities of the device on which it will be displayed. The quality of screen images will be greatly affected by the device resolution as well as the color generation techniques. Next, we will see some of the general principles. So the design goals in creating a user interface are described here. So they are fundamental to the design and implementation of all the effective interfaces, which includes the graphical user interface and the web world. So these principles are the general characteristics of the interface and they apply to all the aspects. So the general principles are: first is aesthetically pleasing. So which provides a visual appeal by the following presentation and the graphical design principle, which provides a meaningful contrast between the screen element, which creates a grouping, align screen elements in the group, provide a three-dimensional representation, use color and graphics effectively and simply. Second is clarity. The interface should be visually, conceptually clear in terms of visual elements, functions, metaphors, words, and text. Compatibility in terms of user, task, job, and product. Next, comprehensibility. System should be easily learned and understood. So user should know what to look at, what to do, when to do it, where to do it, why to do it, and how to do it. So the flow of action, responses, visual presentation, and information should be in a sensible order that is easy to recollect and place in context. Next is configurability. So which permits easy personalizations, configuration, and reconfiguration of settings in order to enhance the sense of control, encourages an active role in understanding. Next is consistency. A system should look, act, and operate the same throughout. Similar components should have the similar look, have a similar uses, and operate similarity. So the same action should always yield the same result. So the function of the element should not change. The position of standard element should not change. In addition to that, increased learning requirement, inconsistency in design has a number of other prerequisites and byproducts, which includes more specialization of system user, greater demand of higher skills, more preparation time and less production time, more frequent changes in the procedure, more error tolerant systems, kind of documentation, time to find out the information in the documents, demand on supervisors and managers, and more things we do the wrong. Next part is directness. So, which provides a direct way to accomplish the task. Available alternatives should be visible, and the effect of action on the object should be visible. Next is efficiency, which minimizes the eye and hand movements and other control actions. So usually the transition between the various system controls should flow easily and freely. And the navigation path should be as short as possible. Eye movements through the screen should be obvious and sequential. Next is familiarities. In the familiarity part, which is going to employ the familiar concepts and the use of language that is familiar to the user. Keep the interface natural, mimicking the user's behavior pattern, so which uses real world metaphors. Next is flexibility. A system must be sensitive to the differing needs to its user, enabling level, and the type of performance, which is based on user's knowledge and skills, each user's experience, personal preference, user's habit, as well as the condition at that moment. And the next one is forgiveness, tolerant and forgive, common and unavoidable human errors. Prevent errors from occurring whenever possible. Protect against possible catastrophic errors. These are some of the general principles in designing the goals, creating a user interfaces.